I figured that since I have to go to school next week, I might as well get one more video out of the way and tell you what my top 10 movies of 2010 are. But anyways, I still have to take out all this crap from my notebook. Yes, this is the notebook I use for every term. I just reuse it over and over again until there's no paper left in it to use. And I don't have a problem with that because it worked for me through my entire time at PCC, so why bother? So I figured while I'm taking all this stuff out and tossing it behind me and cleaning it up later, I will give you my top 10 movies of 2010. So, without further ado, hola my Spanish love, adios. My first few were probably going to be like, oh, you just saw those and you liked them, and so that's why you're giving them good grades. And it's like, honestly, no, they really were probably my favorite and probably some of the best movies this year. So, no, it's not all about me just being picky-choosy because I just saw them. They really were. They waited until the very end of the year to produce some of the best movies of the year. And this one that I'm going to choose, Black Swan. Black Swan was amazingly well done, and there's something to it that you just, if you're not paying attention, you won't get it. You know, I hate to say it because it's an overused term, but you've got this Hitchcockian vibe going on, where it's like you got a great soundtrack provided by Clint Mansell, who did his own take on Swan Lake, I guess you would say. But and that's why they're not allowing it, because they're not allowing it as for an award-winning soundtrack because it borrows too heavily from Swan Lake. Oh, fuck you. It's like, what are you going to do? That's what the movie is about. It's like a psychotic retelling of Black Swan. Or of Swan Lake. Sorry. And so, I think a lot of people don't even get that. They see this movie and they think, oh, it's about ballet and it's about dancers and all that. And I guess, and at a point it is. It's very much a character study. But there's something to it where, the way I'd put it is, if the ending doesn't make much sense to you, if her words don't hit you like really hard, then you didn't get out of it what you should have gotten out of it. Because it really, the way she puts it at the end, wraps everything up so nicely in a pretty package, and it's flawless. The movie is practically flawless. I couldn't find any problems with it. And the few problems I've heard people complain about, I never saw. Like, I don't know where they're getting that from, but if you're finding flaws, go for it, or explain it to me, you know. I mean, some people, it's like, oh, your opinion, you think your opinion means everything, and so whatever you say goes, and so apparently, you know, I don't care about that. I am free. I am open to others' opinions. You know, I don't care if you don't agree with me. I will explain to you why I don't agree with you the same way that I would expect you to explain to me why you don't agree with me. You know, I mean, that's one of the things that made Siskel and Ebert so charming, right? So just recreate that with me, man. Get on a little discussion going, you know? It doesn't have to all be about anger and who's right and who's wrong. So, number 2, Tron Legacy. Say what you will. That movie was awesome. Again, you might not be getting everything out of it if you didn't like it, because honestly, there's a lot going on. They borrow not only the style, and when I say that, people don't, when I say the style, they think, oh, you mean the blue and the orange. No, I don't mean the world of Tron. I don't mean the world of the computer. No, no, no. I mean, did you ever notice that before they go into the world of Tron, into the world of the computer, all you're seeing is black, dark night scenes in the real world? And, oh, blue computer screens. And, oh, an orange little speedometer on the motorcycle there. Yeah. I wonder if that's pertaining to something that's going to happen later in the film. That's what I'm talking about with the style of this movie. And they did that in the first Tron too. So, you didn't notice that? Not my problem. It's pretty crafty, it's pretty awesome, and I'm glad that they did it, you know. They didn't just steal anything, they totally just sort of remade Tron for a new generation, because it really is very much a similar story to the one that came before it. But honestly, I think it's better, even though it borrows a lot heavily from like sources like Star Wars and whatnot. I don't know if you noticed a little throwback to Obi-Wan and whatnot in that movie, but it's there. Honestly, the only thing missing was Chewbacca. But anyways, I love the movie, and they used 3D properly with Tron Legacy. They used it as a tool, the way James Cameron is always talking about using it. He talks about using it as a tool, but he never does use it as a tool. He uses it as a tool to make money. He spreads it liberally over everything as if that was using it as a tool. No. Tron Legacy, they only made the world of the computers 3D, which differentiates the world of the computers and the real world, which actually does utilize 3D as a tool to do so. A tool in storytelling. A visual tool in storytelling, the way that James Cameron always talked about it. And it's the first movie I have seen of this new generation of 3D to actually do so. Even Avatar didn't do that. Avatar was completely in 3D. That was one of the reasons that people wanted to see it so much. I guess. But yeah, there you go. Next one, Inception. Number 3 is Inception. Inception was awesome. What can I say about Inception that hasn't already been said? It's a total mind fuck movie, you know, trying to stay in touch with where you are in time and everything, and it's like just trying to figure out what's going on, and then, you know, at the end the thing doesn't stop spinning, you know. Yeah. I haven't seen it since I first saw it in theaters, so I probably need a refresher before I talk more about it. And I didn't really do a review of it, but I liked it. I thought it was one of the better movies of the year. And if you didn't think so, well, you suck. To be honest, there really wasn't that many good movies this year, so you're going to notice on my list there's some movies that you wouldn't think would make a top 10 list, but look around. This really wasn't the best year for movies. It should be plainly obvious to anybody who pays attention to movies at all that this is a pretty downer year for movies. It was pretty bad. Not that much out there was worth anything. It's like not worth watching, not worth paying a movie ticket for, not worth it. So yeah, Inception was one of the few that was worth it, and that's probably why it sold so well. Anyways, next year I'm sure it'll be a little bit better, but you never know. The next one on my list, it's kind of hard to put it there because it's like, well, it's just a typical movie, but that stands as a good movie this year. That's the point I'm trying to make. A typical movie counts as a good movie this year. And that typical movie that I'm talking about is The Town, directed by, I believe it was directed by Ben Affleck. Yeah. Affleck's getting good with that stuff. He is. He's a better director than he is an actor. I'm sorry, but you are, okay? You're not that good of an actor compared to how good you can direct. It's just the truth. I think he knows that too. I think that's why he's doing more directing. Of course, I could be just talking out of my ass, which is probably what I'm doing, because I usually do that. Anyways, The Town was really in terms of how typical it is and how much of another, Boston uh, type movie it is. I mean, it felt like one of those movies where he's getting a grant to do the movie from the area that he's shooting it in, and so he had to put in extra, scenes and extra lines and stuff like that that refer directly to that area. But no, he just loves Boston. Yes. And it shows in all of his movies because they're all in Boston. Come on. No, but they're all in the Northeast there, and that's, I don't know. Can you feature some other place? It doesn't have to be California. I don't really like California. That's over-featured in movies. But just move west a little. Or that's the wrong way. Move west a little. Move. But anyways, I digress. The Town was a great movie. The acting was great. The story was great. Everything flowed very nicely. Everything went together very nicely. The only thing it didn't have going for it was that it really, it was just a typical movie with above average acting and above average cinematography and whatnot. The story itself was just kind of typical, honestly. It was like a very gangster, crime-motivated flick. There wasn't really anything outstanding or spectacular about it. It was just a good movie to watch if you're bored and you're looking for a decent movie out there. The Town. It was pretty good. Next one on my list is Get Low, starring Sissy Spacek, Robert Duvall, and Bill Murray. It's about a guy who wants to have his own funeral, and he wants the whole town to show up for it. God, what a jackass. No, it's a really interesting story about a little hermit that lives out in the woods, and yeah, he wants to, he's like, getting about that time for me to get low, as the trailer shows. So I'm not giving anything away. He's, he's thinking that he's on his last legs and he's gonna die soon, so he wants to set up a funeral before he dies to the whole town. Nobody really knows why until the end, when he has a special message for the entire town, but mainly for a few people in the town who he might not have thought would think of him as being too good of a person, And it really is a kind of heartwarming movie, sad in some places. It's got that kind of a Western feel at times, but it's really not a Western. And Bill Murray is just hilarious in it. Light hilarious. He does light hilarity here and there. No, that was one of those movies where he was, kind of like, he was reserved, but he was still so funny that you just found yourself chuckling here and there. I love Bill Murray. He's awesome. Next on the list, Catfish. The documentary Catfish that to this day I'm still not sure whether it's real or not, because it was shot so well that it was probably real, and I'm just kidding myself into thinking it was a fake because there's so many out there that have been faked, Blair Witch, anybody? And it really did have a kind of a Blair Witch feel, except for not nearly as, it's not meant to scare you. It's not meant to be a scary movie. It's more meant to make you think. So I say Blair Witch, but I don't mean scary. I just mean one of those movies where, where something's going to happen and you don't know what's going to happen until the end. And yeah. The thing is, you don't leave feeling very dissatisfied, I wouldn't say. I felt like I got what I put into it right back out of it. It was a very good movie. It was a very good documentary. If it was a documentary, and that's the thing about it, it was so well shot, you really can't tell if it's real or not, and you just accept that it's a possibility. It's a very good possibility, and it probably is real. And I kind of go 80-20 on this. 80, it is real. And it's basically, I'm not even going to tell you about it. You just need to go see this documentary. I'm sorry. Because if I said anything, I think I'd give too much away. Check out the trailer. That'd probably give you an idea. But even then, you might be thinking it's a scary movie, and I'm telling you, it's not meant to scare you. It's not like a scary, oh no, jump scare type thing. No. It might creep you out a little bit, but honestly, it's just meant to make you think. It's nothing bad. It's totally fine. Next on my list is, of course, the surprise to me, Scott Pilgrim. Scott Pilgrim was awesome. It had tons of references to, you know, classic video games and, you know, the whole video game culture and nerd culture and whatnot. And you don't like that? Well, screw you. I'm a total dork, and so I love almost everything about this movie. And it kind of felt kind of like an acid trip at points, but I thought it was pretty creative. And from what I've seen of the actual books, it looks to be like almost like a page for page, like a scene for scene remake of what's in the book. I mean, if you read the graphic novel that pertains to the particular story that they're telling in the movie, you'll notice right off the bat, oh wait, I saw that in the movie. I saw that in the movie. I saw that in the movie. The lines, the actions, everything that was in the graphic novel pretty much is in the movie. And I didn't really know how I'd feel about Michael Cera in it, because I really don't like Michael Cera that much, as I'm sure a lot of you can relate to. But it really was pretty good. It's probably one of the few things that I've enjoyed Michael Cera in. I still probably wouldn't have chosen him for the role, but he did pretty good, and I really liked the movie. It's one of my favorites of the year. Next on the list will not be a surprise. When the year started, I was for sure it was probably going to be one of the very few good movies to come out this year, and I was right. Toy Story 3. It's a Pixar movie, of course it's going to be good. Well, apparently, yeah, of course it's going to be good. So I don't know about Cars 2, honestly, but Toy Story 3 worked out pretty well. It was a pretty good movie. Not good enough to make the top of my top 10 list, but good enough that it made the list. And I heard a lot of people saying they were crying at the end of this. I really wasn't crying. I was like, yay! They get to be played with by a new little girl, yay! And then you realize, eventually that little girl's going to grow up. These toys are going to end up in the garbage at some point in their lives. Or they'll end up like collectibles, like in the second movie. Yeah. Let's hope for that. But understand that that's probably not going to happen. Death to toys! But yeah, I love Toy Story 3. Next on the list, Machete. Surprised? Don't be. It was freaking hilarious. It was just outrageous. It's everything you wanted it to be, everything you expected it to be, unless you expected it to be serious, because if that's the case, what? Really? Do you know who Machete is? Do you know who Robert Rodriguez is? Do you know anything? Hello? It should be pretty obvious. This is very tongue-in-cheek. This was just described as, by some, as mexploitation, and I just love that term because it's perfectly dead-on mexploitation. There's even a scene in there that you could just... There's a bunch of lowriders, as it were, come in, and then like a guy in a cart selling like tacos or something, a taco cart, and they're coming in to get these other guys, these anti-immigration people, and it's just funny because it's like totally making a pun off of every stupid, you know, illegal immigrant Mexican joke that has ever been made in this country and theirs. You know, it's just, it's hilarious. It's just a complete, you know, bloody mess of, you know, funniness. Thumbs up. And sadly, I know some will be surprised that I didn't put Predators on here because, well, honestly, I liked it, but I didn't like it enough to make it a top 10. I'm sorry. Now, I'm going to pick something above that you're going to be probably surprised by, but I really just, I don't know why I liked it. Because it was stupid fun. Not the same stupid fun as Machete, but it was just stupid fun where it's a decent story, a fun story to watch, and you get to see somebody you wouldn't expect to see acting in a certain role, playing a certain role to perfection. That movie, From Paris with Love, starring John Travolta as a badass with a rocket launcher. Whoa! I mean, he played the role so well that I just fell in love with the character. I fell in love with the movie. I didn't even care that the other guy, the main character, wasn't even that interesting. You know, that's what's interesting to me about supporting actors, is that I can hate the main actor, but the supporting actor can just totally sell me on the entire movie. That's how I felt about Charlie Wilson's War, which you saw I did my interpretation of one of the scenes there with Gust. Philip Seymour Hoffman is the king of supporting actors, by the way. But yeah, I mean, I love when you put a guy who's normally a lead actor and you put him in a supporting actor role, because sometimes you really get to see them shine. It's like, yeah, they can pull off the main characters just fine, but when you see them in the supporting role, it's like they're giving it their all, and it's just, they become the character. They just do so well. It's just awesome. Go supporting actors and actresses. Yeah. Especially John Travolta in this role. From Paris with Love is just crazy fun, stupid fun. No, it's not a terribly interesting or amazing story. No, the main actor isn't terribly great at his job. But it's a pretty funny, well, I guess it's funny in some parts, but it's a pretty fun movie. And for that, I liked it, and for that, it gets my number 10 spot on my top 10 list. But I think that shows, because I think I gave that movie a 7 out of 10. And that's not really saying much. That's like a bottom of the line, barely watchable type score for me. Well, I don't know. 5 out of 10 is a barely watchable. 7 out of 10 is like, I'll watch it and I might like it, but there's no real reason to like it. And it's the same. That's what I've been trying to say about this. So yeah. There's my top 10, and check that out. Wait a minute. Hold on. Check that out. Clear and clean as a whistle. Yeah, I was done with that like 10 minutes ago, though. Must feel sorry for you guys if you're still watching. I'm going to be doing a lot of editing, but I mean, this is going to be a long video. So, thank you for staying tuned, and I hope you check out some of my videos later. Actually, I think you deserve something for waiting this long, so here's what I'm going to do. I wasn't planning on doing a video about this because I didn't really think it was that interesting. But I'm going to show you some of the things I got for Christmas. Okay, I got Blu-ray of Watchmen, the director's cut. Australia. I like this movie. A lot of people don't, but it's good. It's the bare bones edition, sadly, but anyways. Where the Wild Things Are. Great movie. Don't like it? Screw you. Psycho 50th Anniversary Edition. I did a review of this. 10 out of 10. Brilliant Blu-ray. Really a show-off disc. If you want to show somebody what's possible on Blu-ray, even for older films like this, you get this. This is a freaking show-off. See what it can do. Blu-ray. And I got It's a Wonderful Life on Blu-ray. I also got The Shining on Blu-ray, Tailspin Volume 2 on DVD, and Batman Arkham Asylum Game of the Year Edition for the PS3, and $60 in PSN cards. So I did pretty damn good for Christmas this year. I'm more than happy. I hope you guys had a Merry Christmas. I hope you got some good stuff. I know I got a pretty damn good haul right there, you know what I mean? But, yeah. Thanks for watching and staying tuned. Hope you like that extra I added on there. Because I'm not going to tell anybody about it. I'm not going to put like, ooh, if you stay and wait until the end. Like, what was the point of that? If you don't want to watch to the end, don't watch to the end. If you have, thank you, and there's your bonus. Catch you later. Oi. Do you like the color that my camera's producing? I need a new web camera probably. I need a new camera period, but I probably need a new web camera too, because it's like, this is just getting bad. Before you know it, it'll go to like weird color tones, and then sepia tone, and then it'll just be big old crappy grain. That's not film grain, that's like video grain. I don't even know what the hell causes that. It's disgusting. It's magnetic crap all over the screen. I wonder why you can't see me that well and can't even tell barely that I have a bit of a beard going on here. That's why. Wonder why you can't see just how horrible my hair looks? That's why. It's my camera. My camera sucks. And I apologize for that. And tell you what my top 10... Wait, no, why? And tell you what my... I figured I might as well get it... Bleh. And tell you what my top 10... That'll be 20. What am I doing? And tell you what my top 10 videos are. What? It's about a guy who gets bored making a video and starts doing other stuff. Now,